to see Dr. Ammons here, man.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he would be here. Yeah, and then Donzel, you know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Donzel,
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to be here.
Because, Brad had wanted that.
We're just doing the two tonight, right?
That was your first trip to Tallahassee. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was, man. And the issue that you talked about was interesting too, because when they look at the numbers, out of the total, it's a very small number.
Eric, I agree with you. Your assessment of that. I'm more troubled by the identified sectors or whatever. Yeah, because I think you're opens the door to all that.
For the overflow room to set it up or whatever.
Good evening. I would like to call to order the regular City Commission meeting for this, the 22nd day of January 2014 at 6 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor. Commissioner Dollison.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer.
Here.
Commissioner Dantzler.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Yates.
Here.
And Mayor Birdsong.
Here. We will have our invocation by the Reverend Deldrick Leonard from Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vanessa Castillo, our MMC City Clerk. Would you stand if able?
Let us pray. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you and give you praise tonight for allowing us to come together as a community, as a commission to do the business of the city of Winter Haven. We thank you for the commissioners that you have stationed here and are doing a great work here in this community. We thank you for the entire staff that serve the local community and this entire city. And oh God, we thank you for while we are here to celebrate two local icons who have left an indelible mark not only here in the city of Winter Haven, but across this land and this nation. Continue to bless Dr. Ammons as he does a great work in New Orleans. And we thank you for the legacy that my mentor, Denzel Floyd, left in the impact that he made in this city, in the hearts and minds of the young people that he touched. And oh God, continue to bless each of the families that are represented here. And oh God, as we continue to do the work of this community, let everything that we do be pleasing in your sight. And at the end of the day, you will get all the praise. We ask all these blessings in the matchless name of Jesus Christ we pray. All God's children said, amen, amen, and amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have some presentations. Is Christine Samuels going to present them, or you, T. Mike?
Actually, for the proclamations this evening, if the commission wants to come down front, we'll have MJ's going to read items 5A and 5B, which will be our proclamations tied to honoring our local heroes.
Okay.
Item 5A is for Dr. James H. Ammons, and if Dr. Ammons, if you want to come to the podium, and we'll present you with this proclamation.
All right.
Thank you.
Whereas the City of Winter Haven recognizes how diversity and inclusion is woven into the fabric of American life and solidifies the foundation of strong communities. And whereas in 2021, the City of Winter Haven decided to begin celebrating Black History Month by recognizing local heroes who have made a significant impact on the community. And whereas a group of community leaders came together and identified local heroes that blazed new trails while demonstrating passion, dedication, and empathy or compassion for the community. And whereas one hero will be recognized for each week of Black History Month 2024, and whereas Dr. James H. Amons is recognized as one of these heroes. And whereas Dr. James H. Amons has been dedicated to the betterment of higher education, having proudly served as the 9th Chancellor at North Carolina Central University, the 10th President of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, and currently serves as the Chancellor of Southern University at New Orleans. And whereas Dr. Amons would say, "Blessed is he who has found his work, let him ask no other blessedness," and these are words that can guide us all. Now therefore, Nathaniel J. Birdsong, Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, does hereby proclaim the week of February 5th, 2024 as Dr. James H. Amons Jr. Week in the City of Winter Haven. In witness whereof, he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida to be affixed this 22nd day of January, 2024.
To Mayor Birdsong and members of the City Commission of the great city of Winter Haven, I want to start by saying that no man or woman is an island unto themselves. There have been so many people who have prayed for me, supported me along my journey. And I just want to thank God for hearing those prayers. I want to thank him for covering me, for commanding his angels to guard me in all my ways. You just heard one of my favorite sayings by Thomas Carlyle. Blessed is he who has found his work. Let him ask no other blessedness. And that is my motto. That's what I live by. And you know, I want to thank the commission. I want to thank Pat Smithfields, first of all, for thinking of me and for putting my name forth for this prestigious honor. And I want to congratulate the other heroes. And I got to say something about Dunzel Floyd. I know that he is up in heaven and he's laughing. He said, y'all got a sense of humor. You're honoring a rattler at the same time you're honoring him. His work was powerful in this community, and we all miss him. I also want to thank the selection committee, and I want to thank the City of Winter Haven, and especially the Florence Villa community. You know, I received numerous honors, but this one is really special because it comes from people who know me best. It comes from people who knew me when I was growing up, and we were doing all kind of crazy things, so I'm glad they didn't go back and look at what we were like when we were coming up. But this is really special because it's rewarding me for what I love to do, and it is, as I said, it's really special. And, you know, I found my way in Florence Villa in Winter Haven, and growing up in this community shaped me into the person who I am today. And I'm proud to call Winter Haven and Florence Villa my home. You know, we had institutions in Florence Villa, Jewett Elementary, Jewett High School. We have Hearst Chapel AME Church, and I had neighbors and friends who looked after me. One of them I want to mention who lived right across the street from me growing up, Mr. David Clark. Even back then when he allowed me to work with him when I was in 6th grade, mowing yards, all across the city of Winter Haven, he showed me the future of work, and I want to thank him. And then, of course, you know, it all started on Avenue P. It started with my mom and with my sister Pat's salary who is here. My mom went to 12th grade, and she was a maid. And Commissioner Dantzler, I think you and Rick knew her from Presbyterian Church. She kept y'all in the nursery while you were growing up. She told me how hard those days were. But she didn't finish high school, but there was something that she knew about the power of education. As far as I can remember, and I guess, Pat, we were maybe 2, 3 years old, we would sit on the front porch of our house down on Avenue P. My mom didn't have the money to go and buy all of the fancy tablets and all of that, so she tore the tops off of cardboard boxes and gave us crayons. I think I may have still been in diapers, but she was teaching us our alphabets and our numbers. And Pat, I never told you this, but the reason that I learned so much was because I was watching you. I was watching what Pat did, and therefore I learned. And my mom worked so hard. And I know she's looking down and she's smiling today because Pat and I made her proud. And each of us have achieved in our own way. And we did it because she saw early on that the power of education levels a lot of playing fields. And I want to thank her, and Pat, I want to thank you because you've always been there for me to celebrate my big occasions. The other thing is that we had incredible teachers. I will put the teachers at Jewett High School up against any teachers on this earth. And the other thing is that all of our great teachers at Jewett went to FAMU. All of the great teachers went to FAMU. All right? They knew their stuff. They made it plain. They were committed. They had a passion. But the most important thing is they cared. And we knew it. And when we left Jewett, we were prepared not only to compete, but to win. And one of those teachers is here with me tonight. But I want to say something about another teacher first, Dr. Lottie Tucker. I was a good student, but I got in trouble. I ran with a group. We call ourselves the council. And even though we did our work, but we were troublemakers in some classes. So I was about to fail English, not because I was failing the coursework, but because I couldn't keep my mouth shut. So Ms. Tucker took me in her class. And the thing that I can say about Ms. Tucker, she understood that I was hitting a certain point of intellectualism. And she knew that I needed an environment that would bring out the real me. And I want to thank her. But the one who made the biggest difference in my life and in my educational journey is Mr. Osmar Woodard. And he's here, he and his wife. Mr. Woodard, Mrs. Woodard, and Adam are here, and I want to thank them for being here. But Mr. Woodard was special. He taught geography, he taught history, and it was because of the classes that I took with him that I decided when I went to FAMU, I was going to major in political science. And the rest is history. When I left Jewett High School and went to Florida A&M, I felt that I could compete and win against anybody. And as a part of his teaching, not only did he teach the subjects, but he taught us how to be men and women, how to be respectful, and how to be respected. And Mr. Woodard, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for everything that you did for me, for what you did for all of our classmates and what you've done for my family. You honor us by being here tonight. And then I got to thank my classmates. Now, some people would argue with me, but I won't listen to it. The greatest class that ever walked the halls of Jewett High School, the class of 1970. And some of them are here. All right? They have been with me all my life, and in all of my big moments. They came in buses and in cars to North Carolina and to Tallahassee when I became chancellor and when I became president. And the friendships and the bonds that we have formed are for a lifetime. They will always be a part of me. But there were two of my friends who were probably the closest. Scotty Clark, who I met in second grade, and Jerome Major. And both of them have gone on to be with the Lord, but they too had a tremendous impact on me because we were close friends. As a matter of fact, they called us the Three Musketeers. They were brilliant. Scotty Clark was a genius. He could read something one time and he had it. Jerome Major was naturally smart. I was talented, but what they didn't know, I had to go home after school and I had to read, reread, and reread. All right? But they challenged me, and because of them, I have been able to excel and to feel comfortable in whatever setting that I'm in. And so I want to thank the class of 1970, those members who are here. They are friends for life. And again, I want to thank you all for being here. And then when I went out to Florida A&M, now y'all gave me this mic. I got a few things I got to say. And it's not my week yet, but I want y'all to indulge me for a few more minutes, okay? All right. And then there were people at Florida A&M who noticed my talent. I went to Florida A&M 17 years old and went to Florida State. At the age of 24, I had a PhD. One of the most impactful statements that I heard from one of my friends, he said, "Doc, we were still here dropping and adding, and you had your PhD." I was serious. And in that span of time, I went on to get a PhD and had a chance to go back to Florida A&M. And there are some people who I want to thank. And all of them have gone on to be with the Lord as well, except Dr. Aubrey Perry, who invited me back to Florida A&M as a faculty member. And then Dr. Lee Dale Nealon, Mr. Woodard, who invited me back as a part of his administration. Dr. Walter Smith, the 7th president of Florida A&M University, who allowed me to be a part of his administration. And then, of course, Dr. Fred Humphreys, the greatest president in the history of Florida A&M, was my mentor. And they saw something in me that Mr. Woodard and the people here in Winter Haven saw, and they gave me an opportunity to be an administrator. And here I am, the head of my 3rd university. And I still believe my best work is still ahead of me. But you know, none of this would be possible if I didn't believe that no one is an island unto themselves. And there's an old African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I have achieved because I didn't have to go alone. I have been blessed with my beautiful wife, Judy. For nearly 49 years. We got married when we were children. She has been my rock. She has been by my side through every step of the way. But not only do I have Judy, I have her family. I had two families, the Ruffin family and the Ammons family, who all supported me. Mother, Miss Jewel, as some of you know, James have gone on to be with the Lord, but John is here tonight. And I want to thank them, and I want to thank Judy for being the driving force behind my achievements. She and our son James and now granddaughter Adelina are the driving forces that keep me going. And Judy, I want to say to you, your sacrifices and your selflessness moving to 3 different states allowed me to pursue my dreams. We moved when we didn't know how things were going to work out. And you have been my partner and my confidant in every sense of the word, offering guidance, wisdom, and unconditional love. And even though I'm being honored here tonight as a local hero, I have to share this honor with my wife, because none of what I've been able to do would have been possible without her love, support, and her understanding. And I promise to continue making you proud and honor our partnership for the rest of our lives. And so in conclusion, I know y'all tired of standing. I'm humbled and I'm truly honored to be named a local hero here in the city of Winter Haven. And I want to thank the city and I want to thank the Florence Villa community for being a major part of my journey. Thank you.
Officially burning up these. Not you? It's amazing.
I'm sorry. I had to get it. That's all right. Thank you. Thank you.
I checked on them several months ago. I haven't heard anything more. It's the first time I've seen them in 2 years.
And then we can do another row in the front. All right, I think I get everybody. Okay. All right, right there on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Do another one. 1, 2, 3. Don't move. Do another one. Leave off. 1, 2, 3. All 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, thanks. Yeah. You want to do this? Yeah. We'll post these too, so you guys can.
Dr. Ray?
Joyce.
Yes, yes, come on.
Dr. Ray.
All right, we're gonna do it all over. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Don't leave. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Mayor, Commissioners, members of the audience, will now do our second proclamation in coordination with our honoring local heroes. This one is for Donzel, the Chief Floyd. So MJ Carnevale, Deputy City Manager, will read this proclamation as well.
Whereas the City of Winter Haven recognizes how diversity and inclusion is woven into the fabric of American life and solidifies the foundation of strong communities. And whereas in 2021, the City of Winter Haven decided to begin celebrating Black History Month by recognizing local heroes who have made a significant impact on the community. And whereas a group of community leaders came together and identified local heroes that blazed new trails while demonstrating passion, dedication, and empathy or compassion for the community. And whereas one hero will be recognized for each week of Black History Month 2024, and whereas Donzel to Chief Floyd is recognized as one of those heroes. And whereas Mr. Floyd dedicated his life to serve others and assisting students in their own academic journeys with his own time and guidance and wisdom and knowledge of the pharmacy profession, which has made a lasting impact. And whereas Mr. Floyd would say, success is measured by the distance you traveled from where you started. And these are words that can guide us all. Now, therefore, Nathaniel J. Birdsong, Jr., Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, does hereby proclaim the week of February 12th, 2024 as Donzel to Chief Floyd Week in the City of Winter Haven. In witness whereof, he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, to be affixed this 22nd day of January, 2024.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Donzel Floyd, as you could probably imagine, his son, my mother, Carolyn, my sister, Cardon, who's in Germany and can be with us. First, just want to, give honor to God, because without God, there's none of this, nothing is possible. I'd like to thank Mayor Birdsong, our neighbor, Commissioner Dawson, congratulations, by the way, and all the other commissioners, the board. Just want to say, thank you for honoring my father. Two things about him. One of his sayings was, "May the works that I've done speak for me." And I feel like this honor and this award is kind of like the epitome of those words. And then one of the other ones he would say is, "Give me my flowers while I'm alive." And I'm glad Dr. Ammons was able to get his flowers while he's here. He, as everyone know, born and raised here, but he really dedicated his life to Florence Villa, the City of Winter Haven, his community, and educating young people and giving young people a chance and an opportunity to do things more than what he could do for himself. And like Dr. Ammons said, like, if you want to go far, go with a village and a community. And he really did embrace the community and working together, starting the Jewett Fund and many other things locally, as well as with his alma mater, Bethune-Cookman University. So again, just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was involved in this. Thank you for everyone coming out, all of our family and friends, and we really appreciate it.
Just like to add just a few things. I would first like to say thank you, Dr. Ammons, for your long speech a few minutes ago, because I'm not one for public speaking, but I just want to say I'm so appreciative of all that has been done in memory of my husband. I would like to do special thanks to Sister Patricia Smithfield, because she's the one that submitted my husband to be selected as one of the icons, and a special thanks to Sister Christine Samuels. She was so helpful in giving me advice on what I needed to do and how I should go about doing it. I'm also glad to see my homeroom teacher here as well, Mr. Ozamar Woodard and his wife. I can think back on him. I'm from a family of 14, and back when we were coming up, we didn't have very much, but to me, we were never hungry, we were never without clothing or whatever, but there was one thing that I wanted to do when I was in high school and wasn't able to do because of the finances that we didn't have. So I thank God for Mr. Osamar Woodard and his wife. I needed an outfit to wear for like the ring ceremony or something, and they purchased this dress for me to wear so that I could participate. And I just want to say thank you. So God is good. He always provides for us, and all we have to do is just ask Him. And He said whatever it is we need, if it's the desires of our hearts, He will give it to us. And I would just like to say thanks again for everything. And the luncheon was just outstanding. I told everybody I met, I said, I think this was a 5-star luncheon. I said, because, I mean, everything was so nice. We had the ROTC, and they made us feel, you know, like we were so special with, the swords, and we walked through. I thought, this is like, the Queen. And, it was on the red carpet, and it was just so, so nice. And I really appreciate everything that has been done in memory of my husband. Thank you so very much.
Carolyn. You need to take this.
Perfect. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you. You got to walk around if you forget it. All right, you're good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yep, we have one more presentation, but you can be seated for that one. Commissioners, thank you for your support of that. We will have 2 more proclamations similar to these this evening that we will do at your next City Commission meeting, February 12th. And if you'll give us just a minute, we'll move into our next presentation once some folks have had a chance to clear out. Katrina, you ready? Mayor and Commissioners, as I mentioned in a recent commission meeting and workshops, one of the things that we have been working on over the past several months is a revamp and new launch of a new and improved City of Winter Haven website. So we started with our branding efforts that took place back over the summer months, and we have used that to help build the website with an outside party, and it is now launched. It launched 2 weeks ago today. And so we have continued to work through any bugs that we come across, but I just ask that Katrina Hill, our Director of Public Affairs and Communication, give you a quick overview of the new website.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
So this is the new website. You're looking at here, you'll see the new branding with it. This homepage does have a video banner that normally runs. We've just got a lot going on internet in here right now, so that's not running. But I encourage you to go look at it later. It's got some really great shots of our city and our staff that were all pulled from the video shoot we did with Black Oak Creative in October of 2022. So we were able to repurpose that great footage for the homepage of the website. Big things with the website, we cut almost 150 pages from the old site to the new site. For context, those were duplicate pages with the same information in two places. So the goal of that was to streamline navigation, make it really easy for people to find what they're looking for, and also more efficient for staff to ensure everything stays up to date and current. As you're looking at the homepage, right in front and center is a How Can We Help You bar. That's just a site search bar that we can actually really fine tune and refine as we watch searches that are coming in and whether or not they're getting the information they need. So that way, if people just want to jump right in that way, they can do that. Scrolling down, these are 8 of the most sought after pages on our website. We can update these at any time based on analytics. The great thing about this, and I'll show you in a minute, is these 8 buttons are right here on the top of the homepage, but they're also on the bottom of every single page throughout the site. So you'll always, no matter where you are on the site, if you've got someone that needs to start or stop water service, hey, if you're on our website, scroll to the bottom, click Start Stop Water, for example. So it makes it really easy for us to guide the public to what they're looking for. Calendar events is the next feature on the homepage. The biggest complaint I heard from the public about our old website is it was really hard to sort through all of the events on the site and find commission meetings and other public meetings. So it defaults to a calendar that just shows public meetings, commission meetings, committee meetings, things like that. Library programs are called out separately. Signature events, those are the events that we host. So like last week's MLK events, they're all passed for this month, that's why they're not there. Office closures are there, the fireworks will be there, those events that are our events that we put on. And then we've changed the way that we show events that are happening in our public spaces that aren't our events. There was some confusion on the previous site because they looked the same as our events on our website. So now they're just listed as space reservations, so the public can still look and see what's happening in our parks and in our public buildings. But there's a very kind of clear delineation on who they should contact and who the organizer is of those different events. News and updates, nothing really new there, it just pulls in here. And then we've got some more of our key pages linked down here. You're going to see some buttons very similar to these throughout the website. This is a little trick kind of from the private sector marketing world that we pulled over onto this site. Pages that we want people to be able to access, we want to push people toward, for example, careers or our different apps that they can connect with us. You'll see them show up throughout the site kind of in the sidebar, so people are encouraged to go see those. So I'm just going to show you a few other quick things. You'll see here at the top, you can create a website account. That's for the general public. That's not just for our staff. What that allows you to do is sign up for whatever updates you want. So you can say, I want email updates, or I want text updates, and I want it for news, or I want it for events, or I want it for alerts, and you can pick the categories you want. So I'd encourage citizens to go and sign up for that, at least at a minimum for like emergency notices, so that you can be connected with us as we post new information. I lost the mouse. Here it is. Staff directory, this is a fully searchable staff directory now, and it is organized by department, but you can also search by name as well if you know who you're looking for. The other thing that we were very intentional about on the new site is pulling in the proper contact information here on the right-hand side of almost every page. So if you're on a page and you have further questions, right there is the person you need to call or email and their contact information so you can get a hold of them. So our goal is we're not going to put every ounce of information on the website and ask our citizens to read through words and pages of information. We're going to give them what they need and make sure that they know exactly who they can connect to if they have further questions. And again, here on the side, you can see some of the cross-linking that we're doing to encourage folks to use our other engagement tools. You'll also start to see our new brand come in. So this is the
brand color for the city manager's office. If you jump over to police, you see the public safety brand color come up. And anywhere that you see this kind of design here, that means it's a link off to another page so you can dive in for more information. And again, water department, so you can see their color. So it becomes very consistent. Every page doesn't look different, but with the subtle colors and department logos, it does help you kind of be grounded in where you are within the organization. This alerts widget is on certain pages, and it can also be a big alert across the top of the website. So if there's a boil water notice, it will show up here. This is also one of those that you can subscribe to. And then, like I said, we've got this sort of site-wide alert we can do across the top, for example, if we were facing a storm event. And finally, the only kind of section of the website that looks a little bit different when you go to it is the library. We had lots of data with how folks used our previous website, and if they entered onto a library page, they exited off a library page. They were really using the library like it was a site within a site to just get online library services. So Jane likes to say it's a digital version of their physical library, right? So still very consistent, still follows the brand colors and guidelines and very similar look, but the navigation across the top does change to allow those users to use the library section of the site as if it was its own website, so they can continue to use it as an online branch of the website. So those are some of the highlights. I'd like to thank everyone on staff that helped with this website. This was not a solo effort. We had more than 24 folks from across the city that helped either with content or helping me make key decisions as we were beginning to lay it out and design it, or help research other sites and think about the features we wanted to include. So I would say if we could give a round of applause to, I don't have all their names in front of me, but I can certainly send them to you, everybody in the city that helped make this possible. So thank you. That's all.
Any questions, Mayor and Commissioners? I don't know if you've had a chance to explore this yet or not. It's very user-friendly regardless of what device you're on. It will, in my own lingo, say scale to if you're using it on your phone or an iPad or your desktop computer. But if you haven't had a chance to explore it, I encourage you to do so.
Nice, nice.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Developments of note? We have none. I'd just like to take this opportunity. I see that we have some Boy Scouts in the audience. Is there someone that can tell us where you're from and what troop? Come to the mic.
We are Troop 515 from Winter Haven, Florida. We came from our normal meeting to come here to learn what you do during your meetings here.
All right. Well, thank you for coming.
What's his name? His name? Did you get his name?
Give us your name. You didn't give us your name.
My name is Vincent Harmon. Vincent Harmon.
Harmon. All right. Vincent Harmon.
Thank
All right.
you.
Commissioners, you have the minutes of October the 9th and October the 18th and October the 23rd.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve all three sets of minutes.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Comments from the audience?
In general or specific comments?
No, I have Abdul Al-Khatib. Come in. State your name, address for the record.
Yes, sir.
please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Abdurrahim Al-Khatib. I reside at 1435 10th Street Northeast, Winter Haven, Florida. And I rise this evening, and the families are gone, but I just wanted to commend the city on the recognition of two outstanding gentlemen, in Dr. Ammons and Donzel Floyd, both of whom had tremendous impact on me personally. Dr. Ammons, I was on Avenue Q, and he was on Avenue P, and just like I watched you, Junior, as we used to call him, walking down the street, I watched Bubba, as we called him, walking down the street. And so we are so proud of the great work that Dr. Ammons has done and his accomplishments. And then, of course, it goes without saying my great love and affection for Donzel Floyd, who happens to also be a member and a mentor of mine in Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, where our motto is, first of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all. So he did the great work, and he did the thing that we as Alpha men stand for, and we just so much appreciate those two gentlemen and the work, and we appreciate the sacrifices their families made to allow them to do all those things. So again, we thank you all, and got to jive you and the Commissioner Dollison, the Omega and a Kappa man, but an Alpha man was there. I'm sorry. Thank you all, and be blessed.
All right, you're quite welcome. No one else signed up, but if there's anyone else that would like to address this commission, you may do so at this time by coming forward, stating your name and address for the record.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. What a beautiful day to be alive. My name is B.G. Garrett. I reside at 2772 Whispering Trails Drive in Winter Haven, Florida. I read a quote that said, "To love one city and have a part in its advancement and improvement is the highest privilege and duty of a citizen." That's powerful. That's the highest duty, is to take part in moving forward. I preface what I'm going to talk about with that. You guys are doing an excellent job. We have multi-millions of dollars.
Sir, could you please?
We have multi-million.
Just hold on one second.
Go ahead.
We can't hear you when you leave the mic.
Yes, sir. I understand. I got it.
So would you please sort of concentrate on addressing us?
I'll do it. Thank you. We have multi-millions of dollars that are coming through this great city. We're putting a lot of money into some amazing projects. We're excited about the rec. We're excited about the fire stations. We're excited about all the great things that we're doing in this city. My question is, the small business outreach, is there going to be one for these large projects? Minority outreach, will there be one for these projects? That's very, very, very important. And you guys know that. And so I'm just asking you guys and the people how we're going to include small businesses and minority businesses. Multi-millions of dollars. And so for other companies to come into our great city and be a beneficiary of our great tax dollars, and the people of the city not to be included, it would be preposterous. It would be ludicrous. So I'm asking you guys and the people for us to come together and figure out what's the game plan. I've been on several projects, Disney World, Tallahassee. My president just left out of here. When I was down there, he was there. He was my president, Dr. Ammons. And so a lot of times when there are major projects, there's always an outreach because we need to get the people in that community involved. And so that's my query today. Will there be outreach? And if not, we have the ability as general contractors and roofing contractors and people who've been in this capacity before to put those type of things together. So that's my query, that's my question.
Thank you.
Do you answer it now, or do you answer it later, or how does that work?
No, the city manager will, at some point,
And city
Eric?
manager, I love to take a
but
meeting with you. if
it's
you
a
don't mind.
rule, we don't engage in dialogues that are in business that's brought before us that's not agended.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, my voice was heard, and I'll reach out to you and see if we can have a meeting on this topic. I appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right. Is there anyone else that would like to address this commission? All right. Ordinance's second reading, public hearing, ordinance 02401. Would you read by title only, city attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-01, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by amending a portion of Plan Unit Development Ordinance O-21-23, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. General location, 1911 21st Street Northwest. The area covered by this request is 3.3 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you, city manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this item is by Rivercard LLC and pertains to the property at 1911 21st Street Northwest. This is on second reading. Nothing has changed since first reading or since your workshop last Tuesday. Staff recommends Commission approve ordinance O-24-01 on second and final reading.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, move for
Yes.
approval of 02401 and for public hearing.
Thank you. I will now recess the city commission meeting and open the public hearing. If there's anyone that wish to address this particular ordinance, would you please do so at this time? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign. Hearing none, the ordinance passes. Ordinance O-2402. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-02, an ordinance amending ordinance 23-24, the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by amending the schedule of capital improvements portion of the capital improvements element of the City of Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan, revising capital improvements element policies 1.1.7 and 1.1.8, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, this ordinance has to do with updating and amending the capital improvements element of the comp plan. There have been no changes since first reading or since your commission workshop of last Tuesday. Staff is recommending the City Commission approve ordinance O-24-02 on second and final reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Move for approval and public hearing of ordinance 2402.
Thank you. I will now recess the City Commission meeting and open the public hearing. If there's anyone that wish to speak to this ordinance, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposes by the same sign. Hearing none, the ordinance is adopted. Ordinance O-2403. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-03, an ordinance amending Chapter 21, Article Roman numeral 2, Division 2, Table 21-32A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, by amending uses in the commercial/downtown C-1 zoning district, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, ordinance O-24-03 addresses permitted uses within the C1 downtown zoning district. table in your fact sheet, and as is shown on the screen, shows the changes in 6 specific uses that go from either permitted special use or not permitted to their proposed change. Nothing has changed on this ordinance since first reading or since your commission agenda review held last Tuesday. Staff recommends the City Commission approve ordinance O-24-03 on second and final reading. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
A motion to approve ordinance 2403 in public hearing.
Thank you. I will now recess the commission meeting and open the public hearing. If there's anyone that wishes to speak to this ordinance, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign, hearing none, the ordinance passes. Ordinance O-2404. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-04, an ordinance amending Chapter 21, Article Roman numeral 2, Division 5, Section 21-96, and Chapter 21, Article Roman numeral 2, Division 2, Table 21-32A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, for the purpose of addressing banquet halls, bottle clubs, and related alcoholic beverage establishments, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, ordinance O-24-04, as noted within your fact sheet, proposes banquet halls and/or bottle clubs, regardless of location, follow the same approval process of large-scale drinking establishments by using the criteria that is designated on the screen before you and also within your fact sheet. More specifically, locating more than 150 feet from specific zoning designations or within a shopping center, or within 150 feet from those same zoning designations. If within a shopping center, a special use is required, special use approval, it would not be permitted to have a bottle club or banquet hall within 150 feet of those zoning districts if it was not within a shopping center. This is on second and final reading. Nothing has changed since first reading or since your agenda review held last Tuesday. Staff recommends City Commission approve ordinance O-24-04 on second and final reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve ordinance O-24-04 on second reading.
Thank you. I will now recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. If there's anyone wishing to speak to this particular ordinance, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign, hearing none. The ordinance passes. Commissioners, you have the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve consent agenda as a whole.
Thank you. I will now recess the commission meeting and open the public hearing. If there's anyone wishing to address the consent agenda, may do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign, hearing none. The consent agenda is adopted in its entirety. We have Resolution R-2401. City Attorney, would you read by title only?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-24-01, a resolution supporting and authorizing the city manager to execute and submit on behalf of the city of Winter Haven a POC Transportation Planning Organization, TPO Transportation Alternatives Program grant application for the Rose Lawn Street Southwest / Sheridan Street Southwest Complete Street project, and to certify the 5-year schedule of capital improvements of the city's comprehensive plan, parentheses, or amend the capital improvements element of the city's comprehensive plan, close parentheses. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, I'm going to ask the Deputy City Manager to present this, but just for the sake of time and not reiterating things over and over, there's actually 3 resolutions that are outlined within the same fact sheet, 2401, 2402, 2403. Each will need to be considered independently, but each one addresses a different road section. So I'm going to ask Deputy City Manager Carnevale to present the fact sheet on these, and he can highlight each of the road districts.
Thank you.
Periodically, the Florida Department of Transportation accepts applications for transportation alternatives, multi-use trails, and regional multi-use trail projects. The current application cycle includes funding for these types of projects in fiscal year 2025/26 through 2029/30. City's funding applications will be submitted to the Polk County Polk Transportation Planning Organization and the Florida Department of Transportation. The Polk TPO will competitively rank each application against other projects from throughout Polk County. Following the TPO's ranking, the applications will be forwarded to FDOT for final funding determination. Each of the projects are outlined as follows. So Roselawn Street, Southwest and Sheridan Street, that's what's on the map in front of you, that runs along Roselawn and Sheridan to 15th Street Southwest and Avenue O. That includes sidewalks, intersection improvements, traffic calming. All the improvements will be constructed within the existing right-of-way, and the preliminary estimate for the project is $1.65 million. West Central Avenue should be the next slide. Sorry. So that project will extend along West Central Avenue from 6th Street Southwest or US Highway 17 to East Lake Howard Drive. That project will include sidewalks, intersection improvements, and on-street parking where appropriate, as well as street lighting improvements. All of that will be constructed within the existing 60-foot right-of-way, and the preliminary estimate for that project is also $1.65 million. And last but not least, East Lake Martha Drive. So this runs along East Lake Martha Drive from Avenue C northeast to Avenue I, up towards the soccer complex. And that project will upgrade sidewalk along both sides of the street, include street lighting, and then add street trees where appropriate. All the improvements will be constructed within the existing right-of-way, and the preliminary estimate of cost on that project is $1 million. Each of these projects will provide pedestrian facilities on heavily traveled corridors where none exist today. And the Multimodal Transportation Advisory Committee at their November 2023 meeting indicated support for each of these applications. There's no immediate financial impact with these requests. However, FDOT, should they select all or some of these projects for funding, the city will potentially be required to fund portions of these projects in future budget years, beginning no earlier than fiscal year 26. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Resolution R2401, R2402, and R2403 as we get to them.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mayor, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Motion to approve Resolution R2401. Can I do them all at three?
No, just one.
Okay, 2401.
Thank you. I will now recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this resolution? Would you come forward, state your name and address for the record? You have 5 minutes.
It'll be short. My name is Ziana Keith. Good evening, everybody. I live.
Could you speak into the mic?
Ziana Keith.
Yes.
I live at 210 Avenue D, Northeast. I don't know how this works. This is my first time actually coming here. But I just moved here last May, and I can't help but to notice it's almost becoming like a homeless epidemic in the area. And I wanted to know, what are we doing to kind of help that population? Is there any programs that's funding? Is there anything that we could do as a community to see that they're getting the resources that they need and things of that nature? And I could say so much, but I won't. But I'm noticing activity, especially now that I put my camera up, that I'm really concerned with, because I think Winter Haven is absolutely beautiful. And I've been to major cities like Atlanta and Chicago and DC, where I see how the population's kind of just left to just kind of fend for themselves, but this is Winter Haven. It's very charming and very beautiful, and I don't want to see it go down to just nothingness, because we're not pulling together to help a population that is in need, if that makes sense. I hope that was received well, and thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, if we could, Katrina, if you'll get her information, we'll follow up with a citizen regarding that request. It's separate from the item at hand, but we will follow up on that.
Is there anyone else? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, the resolution passes. Resolution R2402, City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R24-02, a resolution supporting and authorizing the city manager to execute and submit on behalf of the city of Winter Haven a Polk Transportation Planning Organization, TPO, Transportation Alternatives Program grant application for the West Central Avenue Complete Street Project, and to certify the 5-year schedule of capital improvements of the city's comprehensive plan, parentheses, or amend the capital improvements element of the city's comprehensive plan, close parentheses.
Thank you. We've already heard the
Yes, sir.
explanation.
Yes, sir.
I entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
motion to approve Resolution R-24-02.
thank you. I'll recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to speak to this particular resolution, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Resolution passes. Resolution R-2403. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-24-03, a resolution supporting and authorizing the city manager to execute and submit on behalf of the city of Winter Haven a Polk Transportation Planning Organization, TPO, Transportation Alternatives Program grant application for the East Lake Martha Drive Complete Street Project, and to certify the 5-year schedule of capital improvements of the city's comprehensive plan, parentheses, or amend the capital improvements element of the city comprehensive plan, close parentheses. Thank you.
Thank you. We've already heard the explanation. I entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve Resolution R-2403.
Thank you. I will now recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this resolution may do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. All right, Resolution R-2407. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-24-07, a resolution authorizing the reduction of the amount of the performance bond posted to guarantee completion of required improvements and dedications for that certain plat entitled Peace Creek Reserve, recorded in the office of the Clerk of the Circuit Court in Fort Polk County, Florida, in Plat Book 197, pages 5 through 15, Public Records of Polk County, Florida, and providing an effective date. General location: the subdivision is generally located west of McLean Road, north of Old Bartow Lake Wales Road, and east of the Peace Creek Canal. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor Commissioners, I'm going to ask Eric Labby to give a high-level overview of this item for you this evening.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir, Mayor Commissioners. With respect to this subdivision, Lennar Homes LLC submitted a performance bond issued by Fidelity Guarantee, an acceptance corporation company, in the amount of $3,981,271 to guarantee work, infrastructure work within the subdivision. The western portion of the subdivision was completed. All infrastructure has been inspected. The eastern portion was delayed due to utility pole locations. So this resolution allows for the release of the initial bond subsequent to the replacement for a bond to cover the eastern portion of the improvements that will be needed to cover those infrastructure improvements. It authorizes the city manager to take all actions thereto.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor, motion to approve Resolution R-2407.
Thank you. I will now recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this resolution may do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Resolution R-2408. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-24-08, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, designating land situated within the corporate limits of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, as a brownfield area for the purposes of environmental remediation, rehabilitation, and economic development, providing for terms and conditions of the designation, and identifying the responsible person for remediation and rehabilitation, providing for transmittal of the designation to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, providing for an effective date, general location south of Martin Luther King Boulevard Northwest / State Road 544 and west of First Street North / State Road 549. The area covered by this request is approximately plus or minus 5.41 acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor, Commissioners, I'm going to ask City Attorney just give an overview of this item again for you from the workshop.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Manager. Before I start my remarks on this particular item, this is simply a public hearing tonight, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. I would not recommend that you take a vote on the resolution tonight. There will be a second public hearing advertised for this resolution, which will be before you at your February 12th, 2024 meeting.
Okay.
But I will go ahead and, if you would like, read the fact sheet. And the other thing I would like for you to take note of is the application that was submitted in February of 2023 by the applicant and the owner of the property. That is included within the resolution, and I would like for that to be specifically noted for the record tonight that you have received that, and it is part of the agenda. And segueing into that, Blue Winter Haven LLC submitted a petition that I just referenced on February 16th of 2023 to the city staff to establish a green reuse area in accordance with requirements set forth in Chapter 376.802C of the Florida statutes. The proposed green reuse area is generally located south of Martin Luther King Boulevard, State Road 544 west of 1st Street North, State Road 549 and north of Avenue S Northwest, and contains 5.41 plus or minus acres. The petitioner is seeking the green reuse area designation to facilitate their ongoing development of the property into the 88-unit Florence Place apartments that are presently under construction. Establishment of the green reuse area will open additional funding opportunities to the petitioner for the site. This designation will not impact or apply to any other properties beyond the petitioner's property, as denoted on the screen, and also the item attachments, the agenda attachments. The referenced Florida statutes establish specific criteria for the establishment of the green reuse area, which are noted more specifically in your fact sheet. The petitioner's application addresses each of these criteria, and the staff's review of the petition that was submitted in February concurs with the conclusions reached by the petitioner. The petitioner did have a local meeting, publicly noticed meeting at the area earlier in 2023. I believe that staff, and Eric Labby can confirm this for the record, but was present when that meeting was held. I don't have the specific time or date of when that meeting was, but it was done in accordance with the statute. Is that correct, Eric?
Yes, staff was present.
Yeah. And that, among the other factors that are set forth on the fact sheet, have been established by the petitioner in accordance with the application that they submitted, about a year ago. There is no direct financial impact as a result of this request, and city staff and I recommend that you receive the application and move it forward for a second public hearing to be conducted on February 12th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. here at John Fuller Auditorium. That will be properly advertised in accordance with statute.
Thank you. Commissioners, we will actually vote on this on February the 12th, but at this time, I'll recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. If there's anyone that wishes to address this commission on this particular resolution, would you come forth, state your name and address for the record, please?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Commission and City staff. My name is Brett Brummond with the Goldstein Environmental Law Firm. We represent the applicant, Blue Winter Haven LLC. I'm simply here to answer any questions you may have, and I look forward to being back here on February 12th for the second public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to address the commission? If not, I will close the public hearing and open the City Commission meeting, and as previously stated, we will have a public hearing and vote on this particular resolution on February the 12th. Thank you. Resolution R2401. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-24-09, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving that certain community planning technical assistance grant agreement between the Florida Department of Commerce and the City of Winter Haven under grant agreement number P0495 for funding for the preparation of a transportation master plan and any amendments and or related supplemental agreements, and authorizing the city manager and appropriate city officials to execute said grant agreement and any amendments and or related supplemental agreements, and to take all of the necessary actions regarding said grant agreement, and providing for severability conflicts for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
City Manager?
Mayor, Commissioners, Deputy City Manager will present this item.
This is in line with the presentation that we gave at the workshop relating to transportation planning. So the Florida Department of Commerce has awarded the city a community planning technical assistance grant that was applied for in 2023. This effort will involve substantial data collection and analysis. And using this analysis, the city will develop recommendations for roadway improvements, intersection hotspots, roadway classifications, and level of service standards as appropriate. This will position the city to continue to target transportation system improvements ahead of population growth and through build-out of the community. This is the agreement with the Department of Commerce that will reimburse the city up to $75,000, which is nearly 80% of the overall project cost. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Resolution 2409, authorizing the city manager or his designee to execute Agreement P0495 with the Florida Department of Commerce and take any additional actions necessary thereto.
Thank you. Commissioners? Entertain a motion? Go ahead.
I'm trying to, the R2409, is that the one? Mr. Mayor, make a motion to, on the first reading?
No. This is a resolution. R2409.
Item 11.
All right. A motion to approve resolution R2409.
Thank you. I will now recess the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this resolution may do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign. Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. We have an ordinance 02408, and this is the first reading. The second reading will be on February the 12th. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-08, an ordinance amending Chapter 21, Article Roman numeral 2, Division 6, Section 21-103 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, for the purposes of amending marine structure requirements, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager.
Mayor, Commissioners, Eric Labby will present this item this evening.
Mayor, Commissioners, in October 2019, the City Commission amended Section 21103 of the Code of Ordinances for the purposes of updating the city's marine structure requirements. During this update, surface area maximums for marine structures were updated, and a maximum roof area square footages were also created. Prior to the update, there were no maximum roof area square footages. In recent years, we've been working with dock builders and residents who have sought out to have larger roof areas over their docks to protect their watercraft from the Florida sun. After discussions with the local dock builders, it was determined an increase in roof area was warranted to allow for more than one slip to be covered on marine structures. Therefore, staff recommends an increase in the maximum roof area of a single-family residential marine structure from 500 square feet to 750 square feet, and an increase in the maximum roof area for non-single-family residential marine structures from 625 square feet to 1,000 square feet. No other changes are proposed within those regulations. Planning Commission did hear this on January 2nd, 2024, at their regular meeting and voted unanimously to recommend approval of this request. No members of the public spoke, and staff's recommendation is for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, as I previously stated, we will have the second reading on February the 12th. However, if there are any discussions, I will entertain those at this time. All right. New business. City Manager.
So, Mayor and Commissioners, I had included an item on your agenda for this evening that was brought about during your last City Commission meeting, at which time Lieutenant Daniel Jones appeared before you on behalf of the Salvation Army to announce their intention to close their women's shelter here in Winter Haven. I had subsequent conversations with Lieutenant Jones on the days following that meeting, which led to the preparation of a fact sheet. However, as I mentioned to you, just a short time before our workshop on Tuesday of last week, the Salvation Army, via email from Lieutenant Jones, was withdrawing their request for financial support from the city to help sustain the operation. I wanted to share with you that prior to this meeting this evening, I had received a subsequent email that stated that the Salvation Army had decided it would be in their best interest for their long-term future to step away from sheltering, and that that was mainly out of financial concerns. They still intend to serve the community with a focus on homeless prevention and wraparound services going forward, although he does not elaborate on what that might entail. They will still be in the community helping with utility rental assistance, casework, food pantry, youth programs, and church programs. It does mean that they will go forward with closing of that shelter, but there's potentially interest from outside organizations in acquiring and perhaps taking over that building and the sheltering services, although he has not afforded me any elaboration on that. So I left this item on the agenda simply because I know that there was public that was interested in this topic and this discussion, but the request from the Salvation Army was removed, and that it's my understanding they will no longer be in the sheltering business, and their hopes are that someone else may take over that service in that building on their behalf. So there's no action to proceed with this evening in that regard.
Commissioners?
That's pretty final to me.
Unfortunate.
We'll wait and see what, what happens there, so.
It's very unfortunate. I think that you indicated that there is potentially some other entity or group that may be interested in a similar type of, I guess, housing opportunity there.
To read directly from his email, Commissioner Dawson, this means that we will still go forward with the closing of the shelter, but we have had some interest from other organizations in buying/taking over the building. So I don't want to read into that too deep or presuppose what that might mean, but that would be my hope, certainly.
Well, all we can, that's as shocking as the last meeting.
Yes, sir.
All right. Commissioner liaison reports. Commissioner Mercer, why don't you start for us?
Oh, okay. I'll start out with, first of all, I did attend some of the calls for the Florida League on some of the legislative bills. It's going to be either presented in Tallahassee or was presented in Tallahassee. On the MLK, of course, all of us participated in the Lane of the Wreath, and also I went to the movie. I think the only thing I missed was the story time, but also attended the public safety groundbreaking ceremony, the Chamber Leadership Alumni group. Of course, we all attended the parade, the MLK breakfast, and then Polk County Day in Tallahassee. There are some bills that will drastically affect the city if some of those pass, and we're, of course, watching all of those. I did stay for the one on Friday, and they did change it to a maximum of 10%. After some interpretation, we don't know if that's a maximum of gross revenues. It did say gross, but of all the revenues of the utilities, or if it's just on the outside area. They did remove most of the $25,000 or 25% additional cost for outside the city limits. Some of them, there was a lot of discussion Thursday night and up until 9 o'clock. And so I was there on Friday. it was at 12:30. So it basically, some of those were, after they were all reviewed, they now have interpreted, they're not sure about the interpretation of some of them and what they really meant. So they are going to be looking at that, I guess, again, on that one bill. There's other areas that it affects, and just about every income source that the city has, they're looking at ways that they all might be affected, really. So even in development services, even in your tourist development tax, even in utilities, even in, so there's not too many things that was left untouched, I guess, is what we can say for that. So anyway, that was part of that. I will say that the League of Cities voted no. They give their comments, and they thank the legislator for presenting and accepting, but there were some big players in the room, and that was JEA, Lakeland, and Orlando. So hopefully it will get down to things that will be acceptable in some form. So, and that's pretty much the update. I haven't checked it today. So.
Thank you. Commissioner Dantzler.
Not a whole lot to report, just several of the miscellaneous things through Martin Luther King Day and Martin Luther King Week, and then I didn't get to go to Tallahassee with you also. Thank you for going, but I had kind of a couple of weeks where not a whole lot to do, so it's good to do that once in a while.
Commissioner Dollison.
I was privileged to participate in all things Martin Luther King, and starting with both luncheons and also the parade and the worship service on Sunday night and the breakfast on Monday morning. And outstanding speakers, great participation. I was able to attend for the first opportunity the Polk County Day in Tallahassee. Very informative, for my first opportunity to be in that setting, to also meet some of the representatives from our area was certainly insightful, and the Florida League was very informative as well. So I really appreciate just the great education I received being there, and look forward to other opportunities such as that.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, so also got to attend all of the MLK events, or the majority of them. It's another successful week of celebrating MLK, so thank you to all the staff that put that on and all the hard work. That takes a lot of planning and a lot of organization to do all of those events in that short amount of time, but they were all just incredible to attend. Loved being in the parade. Didn't get to ride in on a stallion like some people did. I got my steps in along the way, so that's probably better than riding along. But anyways, no, it was a great event, and look forward to next year's events. Attended the new public safety groundbreaking. It's great to get the dirt going on that one, and hopefully I think next year we'll leave the ribbon cutting, or maybe later this year we'll leave the ribbon cutting and maybe break ground on the next fire station on the same day. You can pull that off. Got to have goals. Also pleased to announce attended the Ridge League of Cities meeting, and they selected me to be the treasurer of the Ridge League of Cities, so look forward to serving in that role for the remainder of the term there that was vacated by another individual. So 1 + 1 is 2, and I'll carry that to the Ridge League. Finally, I'll just say, attending the Tallahassee trip as well, advocating for the city of Winter Haven on the state level and the national level is always a top priority, I think, of commissioners. And the one thing that was a theme, no matter who we met with up there, said, Winter Haven, you guys have a lot going on. And that's a positive statement by a lot of supportive individuals in Tallahassee. So I appreciated hearing that. I appreciated the fact that they recognized that, and Winter Haven is continuing to move in the right direction, and based upon all the positive comments that I heard in Tallahassee. With that, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I was just tagging along with everyone else, but went to all of the MLK activities, and I did ride in the parade. I walked last year, though. I think the trip to Tallahassee, there's, as it has been stated, there's like an assault on our enterprise funds. And we think that it's because of a broad brush that's sweeping us up with the larger municipalities, but at least our delegation know where we stand. And the league knows, and the league is supporting the stance that we have. How is it going to turn out? We don't know, but we're hopeful. So it was a good trip. And the other thing about the trip to Tallahassee is that we were able to not only talk with our legislators, but we also were able to engage with some of the departments. And because even though we don't lobby, we do seek funding. And so, that's always a good thing. And so we did do some of that, which is always a good thing. And I guess finally, the ribbon cuttings, I'm always excited about ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. And the new fire station, well, they don't want me to call it a fire station. The community service building, or what's the correct? Public safety building, am I correct? All right. Public safety building, I'm just looking forward to that building being built and in Florence Villa. That's where it is. And Florence Villa is close to my heart. And finally, I attended the ribbon cutting today at Garner Academy. And that was really special to me. Not only is the principal my sister-in-law, but I had the privilege of working with the group that was that actually helped get that school from on life support to back into on a good road, because at one time that school was failing, and we had a meeting. In fact, the meeting was held at Brigham, and the whole outline that was presented was that if that school didn't improve its grade, and I had never heard this before, that a school could actually be managed by a private enterprise. That just blew me away. And so that school was improved, And now to have a $40 million plant, school building at the entranceway to the city of Winter Haven is just speaking to where we are and what we're doing. And so I felt very proud to be a part of that and to take part in it. And with that, we will move to City Attorney. Do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commission, it certainly was inspiring for me tonight to hear of the two honorees, the heroes who were honored tonight, Dr. Ammons and Donzel Floyd. It's just inspiring to me, and I'm delighted to be here tonight and to be able to be a part of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. A couple items. Talk about legislation for a minute, because you touched on this. And Commissioner Mercer, you know, the impact of utility fund transfers wherever that lands could be significant to a general fund. I think our message was received loud and clear by the legislators that we met with last week on, as we say, death by 1,000 paper cuts and the impact that collectively all these bills have. I do want to share, you know, it's not just those that we talked about, and Commissioner Dantzler, you're intimately familiar with the issues of the TDC. You know, there's TDC legislation that's out there that would greatly change how those funds are collected and how they're redistributed to the cities in which they're collected. There is changes in development regulations that impact how we give out permits. I just had staff reviewing one today that dealt with the business impact statements. In just about every one of these cases, it's a matter of home rule, and it's a matter of somebody in a jurisdiction dealing with an issue that can't be resolved at the local level, and therefore, let's create a bill that paints the entire state with the same brush. In Winter Haven, you are very responsive to your constituents and to your developers, holding everybody accountable and playing by an even set of rules. In some places, that's not the case, and sometimes people don't like that, and that's what ends up happening in Tallahassee, is that the bills we were looking at today in development services likely deal with something that happened in DeSoto County and something that's happening in Volusia County, yet it's going to impact everything in between and beyond. So that's just the sick reality of that. We will continue to fight the good fight on behalf of local cities and be making more trips back and forth to Tallahassee as need be. I understand the mayor will be going back up shortly for his part of his duties with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council and that work. The Florida League will have their legislative days coming up in, I think, 2 weeks, and there may be some other opportunities that require some additional testimony before committees and the like, and we stand ready to do that for the benefit of Winter Haven. Two other things briefly. Your next City Commission workshop agenda review, I believe, is February 7th. Just let you know in advance that I will likely not be here for that session. The Florida League has invited me to participate in a program that day in advance of the Winter Institute, and therefore Deputy City Manager will likely be facilitating that workshop that evening. And the last thing, had an opportunity to speak with Chris Sexton today of Destroyer Media. You may have heard that they are working with downtown businesses to try and reignite some downtown activity in the form of a First Friday event. My office is working with them in the Special Events Committee to see what role the city would play in that, if any. It does not involve bringing in new vendors or anything of that nature, but simply helping promote our downtown businesses by staying open, particularly the retail businesses, from 5 to 9 on that First Friday, which I believe the first one is February 2nd, 1st or 2nd, I can't remember off the top of my head. But just so you know, our office is working with them to try and see how we can help them facilitate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Deputy City Manager.
I just want to say congratulations to the local heroes that were honored tonight. I echo John's comments. It was special to hear from them. And then just want to give a shout out to Boy Scout Troop 515. Glad to see them here tonight.
City Clerk.
I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
All right, emergency matters not received for the agenda. Entertain a motion to adjourn. We stand adjourned.